Good morning, Mr. Barber's kids, and this is the last of the weekday videos for this first week back from spring break. I'll be back on Monday, but first, guys, a couple updates for you. So, for those of you who want to know what's going on with the continuing pandemic crisis, the two big things of news that I think you guys should look into are the, how to put it politely, the interesting counter reactions to the very obvious problems of the pandemic. So one of which is a surge of protests in relatively small numbers, a few hundred at a time, by right-wing groups claiming that the whole lockdown is actually a series of liberal conspiracies to take away people's freedom. So we've seen delightful news footage of grown men getting tears in their eyes because they can't buy fertilizer at Lowe's or Home Depot, or various other people claiming that it's more important they can go get their hair cut than that people's lives are saved. So there's some very interesting investigative reporting going on by a number of groups, including a very good news group called The Guardian, into how these protests are actually being funded very much in the open. So this is not like it's something that required a lot of digging. It's very public knowledge by various wealthy Republican and conservative donors as a way to try and damage the political standing of various Democrats. So we see the delightful politicization of the virus in order to try and damage political reputations. My other favorite thing is that approximately 1/3 of Americans, just slightly under, believe in at least one COVID-19 conspiracy theory, which is that it was lab-grown, rather than that it was something that simply came about naturally. I would point out to you guys that, especially for you history kids, here's a real simple mental exercise. What is more likely? That a man-engineered virus suddenly escaped, even though that has never happened in human history, even though it shows up on all kinds of movies and TV shows. It's never actually happened in real life where a bioengineered weapon has accidentally escaped and run rampant. Hasn't happened yet. Or, so that's one possibility, that's the conspiracy theory, or, here's the other possibility, seeing as how pandemics occur approximately every couple hundred years, 1 to 300 years, I can think of about 6 or 7 right off the top of my head through human history. Is it just more likely that that happened again? So, feel free to read about the conspiracy theories. If nothing, it'll give you a good laugh. And lastly, a final bit of how to spend your time and entertain yourself. I'm going to recommend to you guys a delightful series called the Epic Failure Book Series. They're science fiction, although the science fiction part is very light. What they really are is military satire. They're written by the author Joe Zaja, who was a soldier in the U.S. Air Force. So what these are is they're very funny books that consistently poke fun and point out all the ridiculousness about human behavior and people's willingness to take orders, no matter how ridiculous, as long as it's from somebody in a uniform. So I'm currently rereading through the second book as I make my way back through the trilogy because I want something a little lighter, and my wife keeps making fun of me because most of the books I read are super depressing. So if you guys want a good set of laughs, these are available on Kindle, so you can read them off the e-readers and computers or your phones. Alright guys, I will see you on Monday.